Eduardo, this is not only one of my favorite wineries, but it's a fascinating sort of type of wine within the world of wine. It's Semillon is the grape, which I know we know from places like Bordeaux, where it's often blended with Sauvignon Blanc, but this is from Australia. This is from New South Wales. And in this particular place, it has a different expression than it does anywhere else in the world. When I taste Semillon from elsewhere, it can be kind of round and waxy, but here it has a very specific climate. It's actually kind of hot for cultivation, but it has a lot of humidity and a lot of fog. During the warmest daylight hours.
So at some point it changes the growing season for the varietal.
It does, and the expression in your glass, I won't tell you until we taste it, but I think you'll notice it has a much sort of brisker texture and a lot of other unique things happening in this glass.
Wow,
so
that is delicious.
I don't know if you noticed on the label, it's 11.5% alcohol. So pretty low for alcohol, but the acid is
the acid's the beautiful
kicking, right?
Yeah, the relieving factor. It's incredible. It just keeps going on and on and on. Very bright.
Exactly. I think this is something that people who really love Sauvignon Blanc or Gruner Veltliner or other types of really crisp, dry...
even like if you're a Chablis kind of person, this kind of connects the tension in the wine and. Wow, that is a beautiful wine. I've often had it in your house. You always keep it in your fridge. So that's how I became a big fan.
Exactly. And one of the top producers from the region. And, it's very protective handling, meaning there's no oak on this. It's all stainless steel, inert vessels. There's no malolactic fermentation on this. So just really like a pure fruit expression. And what's really fascinating about this wine, and one of the things that makes it kind of extreme, other than that, the place and the climate that allows for this type of wine to be made there, is that these wines, Hunter Valley Semillon, can age for decades. Often when I think
much like Riesling in some sense.
Like Riesling, exactly. But I think sometimes when we think of sort of crisp, high-acid wines like Sancerre, we don't necessarily think of long-term aging. But these wines, they develop this sort of honeyed note over time. And it's really fascinating. They take on almost a toasty note that you might mistake for oak.
So in a 10-year aging, what do you usually see the acidity at?
The acidity stays really bright, but it starts to get a little bit more of those like a little bit savory notes, some honeycomb, and like I said, this like just sort of magical smokiness that starts to come out in the wine.
Awesome. So get it, hide a few bottles in the cellar and let it age.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely drink this now. I mean,
I'm in for it, but I'm really intrigued about the little age in it. And how about food pairings? What do you usually like to do?
I think anything that you would think about, like with Muscadet or Sauvignon Blanc, there's light sort of like oysters, scallops. When it gets older, though, and it takes on those honeyed notes, you might think of a little bit more kind of savory dishes, things with a little spice to it.
Halibut too, things like that, a little more meaty fish.
Vegetables would be great with this salad, but it's just the acid. So I would think about pairing it with other high acid foods, like things with goat cheese or tomatoes or vinaigrette, or even just a squeeze of lemon. I think it would be beautiful.
This is gorgeous. Thanks for sharing.
Cheers.
Cheers.